So how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, thanks. How are things going?
Things are going pretty good.
All right. Do you have anything you want to talk about today?
I thought I would talk about my mom today.
Okay.
We have a pretty good relationship. She's I talk to her a lot on the phone. She lives back in Foster. But I've been kind of worried about her lately. Me and my sister are worried about her, and it's hard because my sister is in Florida, so we just do a lot of talking on the phone. What's the word? Kind of like comparing notes, and then I'm the only one that's here, so I feel like I kind of need to take care of her, sort of. But I don't think that she knows that we're worried about her. I'm mostly just worried about her happiness level and her drinking. She's been drinking a lot, and it's kind of something we just never address. It's like an unspoken thing. And I'm also not sure how happy she is in her situation.
Do you think that she's aware that you guys are aware of what's going on?
She's not aware that we're aware. And until recently, I kind of wasn't aware if she thought that it was an issue. And then I kind of regret it because it's been something that's gone on for a long time. We just don't really talk about it. And I was visiting a couple months ago, and she had a journal out, but it wasn't like a diary, but it was it was like an Oprah brand thing. It said Oprah on it. It was like a self goal worksheet type notebook. Every day there was how many fruits and vegetables did you eat, how much exercise did you get, and then a space for notes. So I didn't think.
So some sort of a wellness.
Yeah, I think wellness was in there. And so she went and she was running an errand, and I was just there, and I was just bored, and I started looking through it, and I kind of accidentally read her diary more than I expected to, and it was upsetting because it was a lot more. She was much more aware of her own drinking than we thought that she had been, or than I thought that she had been, because she acts like nothing's wrong all the time. But in there it said it was every single day was really need to get a hold on the drinking, need to stop drinking more wine, underline, don't remember what I did last night, eek. And it was just sad. There was one sentence I remember, and it was I'm I forget. It was I'm stressed about the fact that I think I am stuck in an addiction and the suffering and stress that it causes me. And I don't know. And she also said, she just seemed really unhappy. There was something, she said, how do I feel? Is overwhelmed, stuck, fat, and just really low self-esteem things. It was just really sad for me to read that she was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is also, you should know, she's thin. She's not at all heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And in there she also wrote, despite my overall measurements, my waist measurement is at obese. So, and that was kind of I don't know, and she's she just thinks that she's heavy, and she thinks that she does all these things wrong, and then she was kind of beating herself up about drinking every night, and I don't know, it just made me upset to read all that, and then I regretted it because I couldn't, then you can't share with her that you know these things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So for that kind of week, I tried to be I don't know, I tried to be available to her a lot, and she was probably what's this about? I was calling her every day and stuff, but
yeah. So it sounds like you've taken on the responsibility of taking care of your mother because your sister's away. Is your mom with anyone?
Yeah, my mom is married to my stepdad, who we do not get along with at all, me or my sister. And I feel bad about that too, because I know that stresses her out a lot. Just the fact that she can never have a happy family, in both respects. When I'm home, I don't talk to him. We don't say anything to each other at all. And I feel bad causing that tension.
at the same time, she may need to develop her own ways of coping.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of coping with wine, cope with
Right.
some other form of activity. And that way, because I'm sure she knows that you feel guilty.
Yeah.
So in a way, she's like inflicting it.
I think she
As much as I don't know the situation, but as much as you guys are not talking and it's causing some sort of tension, she's also contributing to it with her
Right.
drinking.
And the other thing is I think she has no idea how much it does affect us. I think she thinks we don't notice, which I don't understand. But I don't know, it does upset me because at family gatherings and stuff, we kind of, I don't know, we have like an awkwardly mixed family that it didn't work very well. That we don't, it's like kind of like.
Hey, yo, anybody want Call of Duty? I might got an extra copy down
do you guys have an intercom
So
system?
if you want extra Call of Duty, the new one, I'm downstairs and all that.
Oh my god,
Has
I
that
didn't
ever
know what
happened
that
before?
was. Sorry about that.
Oh, what was I talking about? About my
That
stepfamily.
she isn't aware that you're so aware of it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's not. And it's like it's upsetting to me because I think she has no idea like how sloppy she can get, and it'll be because my whole family like they drink wine with dinner and then we all hang out and there's like when we're all together it's like the step family and then me and my sister Olivia, and she just gets drunk. She just gets silly and she doesn't really even realize it. I think because the next day she pretends nothing happened, but it's really upsetting for me because she kind of has. I feel protective over her because everyone in my family kind of like walks on her, sort of. Like she never has a chance to be a part of the dinner conversation, and when she drinks like that, they all make fun of her, and she doesn't even notice it, and it makes me feel really upset, so it makes me more upset then, and my stepdad will do that too, and they all just make fun of her, and it's like, I don't know, it just bothers me so much, because I know she's just, I don't know.
Yeah. So that sounds pretty frustrating because
yeah.
you might not want to cause the conflict, but at the same time you want to stick up for her because she's not sticking up for herself.
Right. And then it's frustrating because it's like I don't even have a chance to be upset with her for drinking so much because I'm so upset with them for like treating her like she's nothing.
And how are you dealing with all of this frustration? What are you doing?
Well, when we're all in the situation like that, because that only happens when everyone's home, and my whole family's like all over the globe, and so it doesn't happen very often. But like Christmas time, so I'm feeling nervous that that's sort of coming up. But I mean, what happens is my sister and I will just flee upstairs. We just don't. We just
so
stop
you
hanging
remove
out.
yourself from the situation
because
entirely.
I know she's not gonna stop drinking more, and they're not gonna stop being nasty to her. But it's not fun. But I think it's mostly a problem. It's mostly a problem for me that I think about it because I don't know. We just don't talk about it. Then the next day it's just no big deal, so it's like never something that's brought up.
Have you thought about talking about it with her?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about talking about it with her a lot. It just always, she gets upset when you confront her with things, sort of. And the only time that I really feel like it is when she is drunk, and my sister has like confronted her about it, but my sister just gets so annoyed at her, and then she'll just make kind of like a mean comment, and it just doesn't work well. It makes my mom emotional, and then it's still the next day we pretend nothing happened, and then at that point it's like everything's fine, so why bring it up again? It's just like I don't know, it's just an awkward situation.
Do you think that if you did talk to her, it would lessen your burden a little bit and maybe make her more aware of the situation and maybe she would try and stop?
Maybe. I mean, I've been kind of on the fence because it's like a moment of awkwardness that might lead to like things being a lot less stressful in a lot of situations. But at the same time, after reading her all of her thoughts about it, and I can tell she's just addicted and I never really thought about it that way, because she does. I mean, she works full time. She works all the time. She's an occupational therapist in a nursing home, and she doesn't drink all day or anything. You know, she drinks at night, and and she only drinks wine. You know, it's like it doesn't feel like the same. I don't know. My dad's an alcoholic, and he's a recovered alcoholic. You know, he got sober when I was like 11, I think. But he was like, you know, a drunk, like drink all day, like live in a crappy house. Like the reason he got sober was because he got arrested for driving onto an exit ramp, speeding with his headlights off while he was drunk. So I mean, it was like hardcore. And easy to identify because it's like screaming at you, and hers is more like just private, I feel like, and like harder to tell if something's wrong. But after reading all of her thoughts, I can tell how badly that she wants to, that I feel like if I let her know that it bothers me or that it bothers me or my sister, it might just make her feel worse and still not be able to. So I think that's why I haven't ever brought it up to her. That and just the awkward hump of getting over, like, having that conversation, because I feel like we're close, but at the same time we never talk about her feelings or like her problems.
Does she seem to be more concerned with you and how you're doing?
Yeah, she's
mothers
just a mom,
do that.
yeah. But
yeah, mothers tend to try and, you know, wean the conversation off of them because they're so concerned with you and they want you to do well, and their well-being doesn't really matter. It's kind of in their nature.
I know that she doesn't want me to worry about her, so I don't want to make her more unhappy by letting her know that I do worry about her. But I don't know. We'll see what happens this Christmas, I guess.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I took care of my mom at a really young age. She was mentally unstable at 17. Well, when I was 17.
Oh, okay.
So that's something I can relate to. It's tough.
Yeah.
And you're really strong for like taking on all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of internalizing it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I feel like I haven't done much. That's why I feel like I don't at all take care of my mom or anything. Like I don't. It's not like that. But I get frustrated with my stepdad too, because he drinks also with her. He doesn't drink as much as she does, but he never, like, as far as I see, he never says anything. He never, you know.
Seems that he enables it.
Yeah. And I think he doesn't mind. I think he doesn't mind having something to hold over her, kind of. It sounds sick, but I don't know. He's kind of... And she didn't even begin drinking until she started dating him, which is interesting. But...
Do you know what happened to her, like, during that time that maybe triggered it?
I mean, she started dating my stepdad right after my parents got divorced. And I was 8, and it was, like, immediate, like, I mean, not immediate, but there was a couple months, and he was the first person she went on a date with. And they just kept dating, and I never liked him. My sister and I always got kind of bad signals from him. He would, like, tell us to, like, back off if we were, like, sitting, like, really close to her on the couch and stuff. He's just kind of, and when we tried to, like, merge families, when we saw, like, how he was with his kids, it was just very, like, the rules were so strict at their house, and it was very, like, militaristic. He was in the Marines, and they earned, they had, like, demerits systems, and they had, like, charts everywhere. It was just, like, kind of crazy. And I think it stressed her out, the fact that we weren't gelling, that, like, it didn't seem, and he had, in the meantime, he had 2 13-year-old twins, 1 16-year-old, and my sister was 13, and then me. So there's, like, 3 13-year-olds, 1 teenager, and then me. And I was 10 when they got married. But I don't know. I think that the whole situation was just a little too much for her. But I always wondered why they even decided to rush into getting married, because I don't know. The situation wasn't the best. But I know, and I think that was, I don't know, I think that was probably one of the bigger reasons that she started drinking. And it wasn't so bad. I also know during that time period she went on anti-anxiety medication. And I don't think she was drinking so much, but I think you're not supposed to drink at all while you were on.
No, you're not
Usually,
supposed
yeah.
to.
She was on Paxil, I think. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. But she had this thing, and my sister and I called it sleepwalking. But I don't think she was sleepwalking, looking back on it. But I remember, like one time, like we'd be like lying in bed, and one time she came in with a Windex bottle, and she was spraying us and telling us to get out of bed, like just acting ridiculous. And she would never remember the next day, or like, she'd be doing the dishes at like 3 in the morning, and we'd wake up and ask her what she was doing, and she'd like say something about Abraham Lincoln, like, you know, just totally out there. And I think that was like a combination of those two things. But instead of, and she eventually realized that too, but instead of quitting drinking, she just stopped taking her anti-anxiety medication. So,
Do you think that was the wrong choice to make?
probably. But I was too young to figure out if, like, what difference that medication was making. And I know she was anxious for a reason, which kind of makes me feel like she might not have needed medicine for it. You know, like she was going through a stressful time period.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's good that she didn't get dependent on it, but it'd be better if she wasn't dependent on alcohol at the same time.
That's completely understandable. We're going to be wrapping up. We got a couple of minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned with how this is affecting you at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
and how you're functioning your day-to-day. Are you in a happy place? Are you getting your responsibilities done with, or are you just doing the bare minimum because you have so much on your plate?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm far enough removed from the situation that it's okay. I think it's, like, the reason I started to talk about that was because it's weighing on my mind more because the holidays are approaching and stuff like that, and I do have to go home. But it's nice because my sister's also coming home, so I have her. And I don't know. I definitely am able to go about my day-to-day life, and I don't think about it all the time or even every day. But it's like it's made home kind of a stressful place for me.
So when you go home, what's your game plan?
I don't know. It's nice to just have my sister there to be on the same team as me, kind of, and talk about things. And like I said, I'm just gonna see how it goes and play it by ear. But I mean, maybe this season will be this season. It's like you kind of hope something either gets a lot worse so you can talk about it without it being something you have to bring up, or a lot better so you don't have to talk about it. So I don't know. I hope it goes one of those two ways.
I understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for participating.
Of course.
And I will see you soon. Where's the... Oh.